counselor?
Oh, yes, I think I am.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, please, sit.
Is that okay if I sit here?
Sure, yeah, go ahead. So, why are you here?
Well, the reason I'm here is because I'm just sick of my parents.
Okay.
My dad is always pushing me over to study more effort, and to be honest, I'm just sick of them. I'm too tired of coming to school and putting on effort on things that I don't even care.
Okay, how come? Could you please expand on that?
Well, they just don't understand me. I mean, look, every time I get bad grades, they tell me off as hell. I mean, it's as if I'm not even their child, you know?
Okay.
So, I just want to set free. I just want to do things that they want to do. You know, I don't like math. I don't like language. I don't like history. I want to do things that I like. And because of this, because of coming here every damn day, you know, gosh, I just don't like it.
Okay, I understand you. I mean, but let me get this straight. So let me ask you this question. Do your parents treat you well? Like, do they mistreat you? Do they tell you bad words? Sorry to ask, but have they ever hit you?
You know, not exactly.
Okay. So they have never hit you, but at least they feed you well, right? I mean, do you have your proper meals like breakfast, lunch, dinner, proper portion at the proper time? Yes or no?
I guess they do.
Okay, so then what?
Well, you don't understand me, mister. See, I have recently read this book, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, and he tells a story of a young man, just like me,
Okay.
who's a runaway boy, who sets free and leaves everything behind and go follow his dreams.
Okay, get you.
He doesn't follow the rules, he just does what he wants to do.
Okay.
And that's what I want to do. I want to become Huckleberry Finn.
So you want to be like him, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, son, when I was your age, like 13 years of age, my teacher told me to read Huckleberry Finn, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn too. And to my surprise, I felt the same way as you feel right now, like some sort of being oppressed by society, right? But then when I grew older, I realized that there are certain things that we have to consider, right? For example, you have to realize that the context was different being compared with the context that we live right now. For example, think, the book was published 20 years after the end of the Civil War, okay? But it was based at Portas, the Civil War. So the US was a nation that was in the middle of a reconstruction, right? The US was a nation who was, of course, going to become a war nation that was going to be really powerful, but at the same time was suffering one of the most devastating wars they ever faced. For example, think of this: if we crunch numbers, if we count, for example, the number of deaths in the Vietnam War and the Korean War, they don't make up for the number of losses in the Civil War. So they were hard times.
Hey, mister. You know, we also live in a dog-eat-dog world, you know?
So yeah, I know we live in a dog-eat-dog world, but you have to understand and realize that the circumstances were different, right? See, just like Huckleberry Finn, you're a young boy, right? You're just an adolescent. How old are you? You're about 17, 16 years old. So yeah, you're an adolescent, and just like Huckle, you have to think things twice, or 3 times, or 4 times. You don't have to rush in your decisions. Okay, you want to run away from your parents. We all do. I mean, myself, I wanted to do that. But you have to think twice. And whether you like it or not, you have people who hold your back. You have your parents. You have your friends. You have your classmates. You have your teachers. So don't rush in your decisions. Think Pretty Hack didn't have this opportunity that you have. Like, for example, talking to someone like me, and this time giving you some sort of advice. Maybe Huckleberry Finn didn't have the choice and had to run away. But you had a choice, okay? So, for example, think he befriends Jim, a male slave adult, and they go on a voyage, on a raft, down the Mississippi River with no direction. And, well, on the one hand, Huckleberry Finn, was not escaping because his parents were really mad at him because he got a bad grade at school. His father wanted to kill him. And I don't think your father or mother have ever tried to kill you, have they? No, right? So, yeah, you have to think about it. Huckleberry Finn had no choice. But you have. He was a poor and maybe ignorant boy. Maybe he thought he was self-sufficient. But no, he wasn't. He needed someone. And you had people around you. Jim, on the other hand, a slave, who was also looking for freedom and team up with Huckleberry Finn on this voyage, both of them looking for a better place to be. So, yeah, even though adventures sounds like fun, and they might be like really nice, okay, we're going to see a lot of places, great views, landscapes, etc. Think of that, for Huckleberry Finn it was not easy either. Young boy, helping a slave, law acts for slaves were really strong by the time, so Huckleberry Finn was risking a lot of things. See, there were a lot of things, people who tried to trick them, like the con man who got on the raft with them. Remember that part? Sure you do. And like other things, like the moral dilemma on whether turning in his new friend, Jim, or help him go and keep on going on this voyage. You don't have to rush in your decisions, okay? You have family, you have education, but give time to your life and let time fly and see what happens with you.
Wow. So, mister, you're telling me that he had a moral dilemma on whether being loyal to the system, and his conscience, of course,
Yeah.
or turning in his friend Jim. Mind blowing. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I didn't see that coming.
Exactly. So, yeah, so you have to think Huckleberry Finn faced something like society versus individual, like slave, or slavery versus a human being, the institution of slavery versus a human being. You understand?
So you see, mister, freedom is all we need. Just like the Beatles songs, love is all we need. In this case, freedom is all we need, right?
You're right, yeah. I think, yeah, just like the Beatles, love is all we need. Hopefully we'll get that. And freedom is all we need, of course. But I think when Mr. Twain was, what he was trying to convey when he wrote that hopefully we find freedom, he meant, this is personally speaking, maybe you have another opinion on this matter, but I think that maybe Mr. Twain tried to convey the idea that Huckleberry Finn had matured during this voyage in such a way that he realized the true right and nature for Jim to be free. Just like you are free, just like I am free myself, and just like Huckleberry Finn was free as well. So think about it.
I see. You know, Mr. It also caught my attention that Huckle depicts somehow the world in which we live right now, and in the past, of course, when it was written. So, like going, for example, from dependence to independence, from slavery to freedom, from knowledge, from ignorance to knowledge, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
from powerless to being powerful, and that's what
What do
I
you
want to
think
do.
about it?
That's what you want to do. I
Okay.
want to be independent from my parents. I want to become independent.
I know what you mean.
I strive from setting free, breaking chains, and become a free person, a free individual. I
Oh,
feel
that's
like
it.
this pushover on my shoulders is getting me sicker and sicker every single day. And just as Huckle, I want to get on a raft, go down river on the Mississippi, and become myself, who truly,
I know.
who I am.
I know what you mean, yeah. But sorry to interrupt you, but you also have to think that, yeah, as well as that, which I think we should all think that way, like going from ignorance to knowledge, from dependence to independence, from powerless to powerful. I totally agree with you. But consider this idea too. I mean, just as your counselor, I feel like I need to tell you, like both sides of the road, you know? I can just tell you that you are right, but I have to show you both paths, okay? So, see for example, Mark Twain also tried to depict in the book through the three main characters, Tom Sawyer, you know them, Jim, and Huckleberry Finn, certain things that we need to bear in mind in life. For example, Tom Sawyer, who was the game-playing, the manipulative person, who this type of person who's always going to try to cheat on you, to trick you, to manipulate you, to steal from you maybe. Son, you have to be really careful with those people. I'm not telling you to avoid them, not at all. But consider my advice and be with them, be around those people, but be careful. Go from ignorance to knowledge. Go from dependence to independence. Okay? Then we have Jim, slave, right? As I see it, this is personally speaking. So we see Jim as the slave, right? But we also see Jim as the primitive person. As a primitive person who is like he fears the superstitions, taboos, and other people. Think of the many times Huckleberry Finn trick, as well as Tom Sawyer, they trick poor Jim when they hid his hand behind a tree, and he thought it was witchcraft. So he was ignorant at the time, and there are going to be Jims in your life, and you have to help those Jims. You have to save them. You have to take them from ignorance to knowledge. You have to take them, and then take your words. You have to take them from powerless to powerful. They need you, but they also need you to be mature and take good choices. Because lastly, And this is, I think, where you are right now, the Huckleberry Finn stage. Yeah, and this is where you are, right? Because this is the golden mean, you know, the man in the middle. The one who's always looking to figure it all out, looking for answers, finding the last truth. The one that nobody wants to tell. That's you, man. That's you. But see, just like Huckleberry Finn, you're still young. And as I told you earlier, you don't have to rush on things. Remember, Huckleberry Finn did not just run away because he got bad grades in school. Think about it. Think about that his father wanted to kill him. I mean, Huckleberry Finn was adventurous, he was somehow naughty, and he really liked mocking people, just like any child. But he didn't just run away because he wanted to. Okay? And you have people holding your back again. So think of them. Don't be too hard on your parents. Don't just leave your house. Don't just leave the school. I know and I understand this society could be full of hypocrisy. But you're living here, and you're going to have to deal with it, whether you like it or not. See, for example, you have your parents, you have your teachers, and you have your classmates and friends, right? See, for example, Huckleberry Finn and Jim, slave, got on a raft and they went down the Mississippi River. They were looking for freedom, right? So they went down the Mississippi River. But, you know, they thought they were going the right direction. They thought they were going to Ohio, the north, where the slaves were no longer slaves, but free men, right? But they thought they had taken the right choice. But actually, and you know this part? You can see here that the flow of the Mississippi River goes southward, but not northward. So they thought they were right. And they were actually getting to the deep south, where slavery was way more awful than in Missouri, right? So think about it. We need people to back us up, whether we like it or not. And Huckleberry Finn, again, did not have a choice. He was on his own. And there were many problems that he had to face, such as the moral dilemma, whether turning his friend Jim, or like being tricked by other people older than him, or whether being part of this civilization in which people wanted to be, to be more educated and to adapt to our social world. There are certain aspects that I share with Huckleberry Finn myself, but there are some other aspects that, as a society, we have to learn how to deal with, such as hypocrisy. I mean, this world is full of people who are going to try to trick you, to steal from you, and to lie to you. Okay? So, please don't take my words for granted. And I hope this conversation has made you think somehow that there is another option. There is not just one option, okay?
Wow. Oh, sir, let me tell you, you really made me think. I think I should probably reread the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah, you should read them again, sure.
I still think it happened. It's pretty.
Consider it then. Yeah,
Really interesting.
definitely. We can read that again.
Okay, so, thank you, mister.
Yeah, my pleasure. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.